In the small forgotten town of Everwood, there was a legend passed down for generations, a warning about the whispering shadows. No one believed it anymore, except for the old-timers who swore the stories were true. That was until Emily moved into the old Bennett house, the one they said was cursed. It was a cold evening when Emily, a city girl looking for a fresh start, moved into the house. It stood alone at the edge of the woods, its windows staring blankly into the dark. She didn't believe in curses. To her, it was just an old house with a lot of history, and the price was too good to pass up. The first night was quiet. She unpacked her boxes and set up her new life. But the second night, the whispers began. At first, Emily thought it was the wind. As she sat reading in the living room, a faint, almost imperceptible murmur drifted through the air. She paused, listening carefully. The noise seemed to be coming from the walls themselves, like a soft voice trying to break through the silence. She dismissed it as the house settling, laughing at her own paranoia. But as the night wore on, the whispers grew louder. They seemed to move, circling the room, always just out of reach. She could never quite catch the words, but the tone was unmistakable. Urgent, insistent. Unable to sleep, Emily wandered through the house, trying to trace the source of the sound. Her footsteps echoed through the empty halls as she approached the old creaky staircase. As she ascended, the whispers followed her, swirling around her like a cold breeze. When she reached the top of the stairs, the air was thick with tension. The whispers became more distinct, but the words were still jumbled, a chorus of voices speaking all at once. Emily's pulse quickened. She felt like she was being watched. She hesitated before opening the door to the attic. The whispers seemed to retreat, as if waiting for her to make the next move. Heart pounding, she stepped inside. The attic was dark, musty, filled with old furniture and forgotten memories, and yet the whispering continued, louder now, more desperate. She saw nothing unusual, just the same dusty old room. But then she noticed something strange in the corner, a large antique mirror covered by a thick, tattered cloth. Emily slowly approached the mirror, the whispers growing louder with each step. She hesitated for a moment, her hand trembling as she reached for the cloth. With a sharp tug, she pulled it away. The mirror was large and ornate, with a cracked frame and a surface clouded with dust. But it wasn't the mirror that terrified her. It was what she saw inside it. The reflection was not her own. Instead of her reflection, there was a woman, pale, with sunken eyes and a sorrowful expression. Her lips moved, but no sound came out. Behind her, shadowy figures lingered, their faces indistinct, whispering ceaselessly. Suddenly, the woman in the mirror locked eyes with Emily. Her expression changed from sorrow to fury. The shadows surged forward, and the whispers turned into a deafening roar. Emily stumbled back, her heart pounding in her chest. Then the woman spoke, clear and terrifying. "You should have listened." The shadows poured from the mirror, swirling around Emily like a living storm. She ran, fleeing the attic, but the whispers followed her, echoing in her mind. As she reached the front door, she glanced back, and for a moment, she saw them, the figures from the mirror, standing at the top of the stairs, watching her. She slammed the door behind her and ran into the night. But the whispers never stopped. They followed her, always just behind, never letting her forget. The people of Everwood say they still hear the whispers near the Bennett house at night. And Emily, she was never seen again.